welcome back to Doodling Through Education. Today we have a history episode, and in it we are going to talk about the League of Nations and the transition from the League of Nations into the United Nations. So we'll talk about what these two things are and how this transition happened. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start doodling. The League of Nations was the first intergovernmental organization which was established after the end of World War I. This organization found its beginning from Woodrow Wilson's speech talking over the 14 points. In his speech, he called for an institution that fosters unity and long-term cooperation among the nations of the world. In January 1919, the Allied powers gathered for the Paris Peace Conference, where they signed the Treaty of Versailles, and in doing so, this formed the League of Nations. The creation of this league was, however, not without its difficulties. Opposing viewpoints arose from different parties. Britain, for instance, was fearful of French domination. Japan insisted on official racial equality. And the U.S. Senate refused to allow the United States to participate in the league in any way. It was this last point that was a significant blow to the legitimacy of the League. The League's primary objective was to promote international cooperation and to achieve international peace and security. The idea of international law, however, was quite new and had many problems which frequently left the League of Nations without real solutions. On the other hand, the League was also unable to end secret diplomacy. Despite its large achievements regarding a new system on that field, it was a failure from the beginning. And in the 1930s, the powers, which were weakened by World War I, became strong enough again to act. Political crises started to emerge one by one, and the League had no measures to persuade them against it. Meanwhile, it became obvious as well that despite the League of Nations' continuous efforts on general disarmament, militarization was widespread and the whole world started to successfully arm itself, leaving the League a failed attempt. With the League of Nations' failure on the political level, the noble idea that emerged during and after World War I to enforce peace had also failed with it. And this political realignment ended up in World War II. So let's move past World War II and talk about the United Nations. The UN was officially established in 1945. This was after the horrific events of World War II, when international leaders proposed creating a new organization globally to maintain peace and avoid the abuses of war. The United Nations had 4 main goals, some of which are the same as the League of Nations goals. The first was to maintain international peace and security. The second, to develop friendly relations among nations. The third was to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems. And number 4, be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations in the attainment of these common goals. What started as a group of 51 members has grown increasingly over the years. War and independence movements, along with decolonization, have all helped boost membership in the UN, or United Nations. Currently, there are 193 members representing countries from all over the world. Since its beginning, the United Nations has performed numerous humanitarian, environmental, and peacekeeping undertakings, some which include providing food to 90 million people in over 75 countries, assisting more than 34 million refugees, authorizing 71 international peacekeeping missions, assisting about 50 countries per year with their elections, providing vaccinations for 58% of children in the world, and helping about 30 million women a year with maternal health efforts. Over the years, the role of the UN has expanded from an organization that primarily only focused on peace and security to one that includes a wide range of global concerns. Today, the UN provides solutions for problems related to healthcare, the environment, criminal justice, refugee dilemmas, and more. Though many support these extended responsibilities and the growth, others still believe the organization may be overstepping its boundaries, so it continues to be a controversial subject. And that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed learning about the United Nations. I would encourage you to talk with your parents about the UN, about the history of the UN, and the things that it does to help our world, and any positive or negative ideas that the UN provides. And on that note, remember to be kind, follow God's will, and take care. Bye.